Well, thanks for joining us on this. Well, it looks a beautiful day here, but actually it's all virtual, which it can be today. Just hope you can spend 10, 15 minutes and listen to this story from a real person that came along to our Be Healthy Central course that we were running down in 3 Milestone. And the first day that Frances came in, she was using her walker. When I went to visit her, she ran upstairs and got me some tea bags from upstairs. So have a look. Changing your diet can actually change your life. Hope you enjoy that. If you can, subscribe or do like all the things that if you enjoy this video, and we'll try and get some more. Thanks. Bye for now. So, Frances, you came along to our Be Healthy in 3 Milestone.
Yes.
What was it that first made you think you'd like to go along? What was the...
Well, the doctor suggested that I needed to go low carb.
Oh, yeah.
For health reasons.
Yeah.
And I was finding the whole change of diet thing slightly confusing because it was a lot lower carb than I was before.
Right.
And then I thought, ooh, this will be helpful.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was your health like when you started the course?
Slightly improving, although before I started, I'd already been doing it for about 5 or 6 weeks.
Right.
But before I started it, I was more or less bedridden.
Okay.
Very bad.
So literally, you had a job to get up?
I had a job to get up, I had a job to get out of the house. I couldn't stay out of the house very long because I started feeling so poorly. And this was more or less when the doctor said, you need to try this.
So was the doctor, he was recommending the low carb?
He was saying that I needed a drastic diet change and weight loss. They know it works because they've done some very large studies into it.
Yeah.
Very large studies, and they do know that this low carb approach, that it actually works for a lot of people very well.
Yeah.
Not everybody. Some people find it very difficult to stick to.
Yeah, yeah. So when you came along, they diagnosed you with
Diabetes.
They diagnosed you with...
This was the last one. I've got osteoarthritis and an inflammatory autoimmune disease as well. So they're all inflammatory autoimmune diseases, basically.
So when you started on the course, you had these diagnoses. So how has your health changed over the last 6 months?
Oh, very dramatically. I'm not bedridden anymore.
No, I can see that one.
I can walk again. I still have to use a mobility walker because I still got the spine issues.
Yeah.
But I can walk again. I can go out and stay out without fear that I'm going to, start feeling ill, have to come home in a hurry, things like that. The inflammation subsided within 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And that is largely, I think, what was stopping me from walking because my joints were so inflamed and puffy.
And what would you put that down to?
After looking at everything, and this last period of 2 months, I've been doing some food testing, and I'm fairly sure it's the seed oils.
Seed oils? Because
I had something that was cooked in seed oil about 3 weeks ago, and I was extremely ill.
Yeah.
Really very ill.
Yeah. And that is quite amazing because, we're told that seed oils are healthy for us.
I know.
And did you find that when you come on the course, did you find that quite a shock that we didn't push seed oils?
After I'd read that book that you've got,
yeah,
and did an awful lot of digging on the internet, I found out that seed oils in certain amounts aren't good for you.
No.
At all.
No.
But they sort of gloss over that bit.
Yeah.
And then I started finding information that seed oils do turn to trans fats when you cook with them.
Yeah.
So it's no wonder that if I had already had inflammatory diseases, there's no wonder the inflammation was getting out of control.
Yeah. And that's the sad bit, that people don't realise what it is, because we're told to avoid animal fats, and we're told to avoid this food and that food, but in actual fact, the guidance is completely haywire.
Because one other thing that's happened is my cholesterol has come down.
Oh, so by eating animal fats, your cholesterol has gone down.
Has come down. I've been trying to get my cholesterol down for about 10 years.
Yeah.
And telling the doctors I'm not taking statins.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't come down.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, in the space of 3 months, it dropped.
Yeah. And that's just amazing. And you've lost.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
I think that is more amazing than the inflammation disappearing.
Yeah. And you've lost weight?
I've lost almost 3 stone now.
Oh, well done. You said that your cholesterol levels have dropped. What about you've got another test to come up, because they did. Were you diabetic or pre-diabetic?
I was pre-diabetic, and then they put me on this diet, and it shot up.
They put the first diet that they put you on. It went up.
It went up,
and that was the NHS diet.
That was the NHS diet, but they're changing that. The last time I looked on their website, some of it's gone.
Oh, good.
Some of it hasn't, but some of the information has changed, because they are changing it.
Oh, good.
And when I went for my eye scan, he said, which method of control are you on? Diet and weight loss or medication? So they're starting to recognise it more.
Yes. And they will, as people,
I think.
As people get healed without the tablets. So medication-wise, have you been able, since you started, to drop any medication?
I wasn't on diabetic medication before.
No.
Because I was controlling it more by diet anyway.
Yeah.
Which I didn't actually understand their diet full stop, because it was more carbohydrate than something.
Yeah, you would have been up in your carbohydrate on their diet.
It did, yeah. But then I got told that I had to have all of that, otherwise I wouldn't manage diabetes.
But which is wrong.
It was very confusing.
Yeah.
Very confusing.
So
I think they assume that people are already having lots. Because when they used to say, cut your sugar, I said, I'm not sweet-toothed. We don't have it.
No. So you couldn't cut out what you didn't have? I couldn't
cut out what I didn't have.
No.
Yeah.
But increasing the carbohydrates increased the blood sugar?
Yeah.
Yeah. So any other medication change?
I've managed to cut the painkillers.
Right.
Drastically.
Okay. And what sort of painkillers were you on?
Zapane, which is the strong cocodamol and codeine.
Right. So not a nice...
It's quite addictive.
Yeah. And you've managed to cut that down?
I've managed to cut it down.
So from
3 or 4 to 1 a day.
Wow. That's a big difference.
That's a big difference. Yeah.
That's, 75% down.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And generally, I mean, you look brighter. You look different to when you first came in on that.
I've got energy.
Which is great.
And I can motivate myself now, whereas before it was like trying to get through a fog. I couldn't do it.
Now, it's a very delicate subject. Would you tell me how old you are?
I'm still 74.
Are you 74?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think you were that old.
Oh, really?
No, I didn't.
All right. I'm 75 in a few weeks.
Right. I mean, you're doing amazing, because a lot of people think once you're down the road of being, you've put on overweight, you've got diabetes, it's a road to nowhere, but you've actually turned that.
I felt as though it was, because I've got these other things and I've had them for a long time. They are long-term and chronic.
Yeah.
Then I thought that was the end of the road.
Yeah. But you now know it isn't.
I now know it isn't, yeah.
That's amazing.
I started to feel very desperate. Last year was a very bad year. The other thing I haven't had since before Christmas is angina.
Okay.
And I was having it 2 or 3 times a month. I had a cardiac problem a year ago.
Yeah.
And things got pretty bad again. And I was having this angina 2-3 times a month, and
Wow.
I might have had it once.
Yeah. So again, because everything that causes inflammation in our body, you know, our food is the fuel. And so if we can get our food right, what foods do you enjoy eating now?
Well, funnily enough, the same as I enjoyed before, and I don't have to suffer the ones I don't enjoy. I never did go much for carbohydrate.
Right.
I've never been very fond of things like pasta and pizza and all that sort of thing.
Okay.
Never. I didn't used to buy ready meals. It was very rare for me to have ready meals and things like that, because I like cooking anyway.
Yeah.
But I think this is why I think a lot of it's down to the seed oils.
Yeah.
Because my husband had heart disease. He died from it 30 odd years ago.
Right.
And we were both put on low fat then. And of course that was it.
Yeah.
And I think that's got a lot to do with it. You know, no dairy and things like that.
Yeah.
At that time, he couldn't even have eggs or avocado because he thought they were bad for you as well.
Yeah.
So I've had low-fat diet and more in the way of oils for years.
Yeah.
And I think that's got a lot to do with it.
Does it make you cross?
Yes.
That you were recommended these foods 30 years ago?
Yes.
And now...
I do remember commenting to his doctor that he couldn't have no fat whatsoever because you need some fat to get the vitamins and minerals across the blood-brain barrier.
Yeah.
And he said, yes, that's true.
But that was the end of the conversation.
That was the end of the conversation, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yes, they are told what to say by the sound of it.
Well, and unfortunately, what they're taught in college is seen to be gospel. And science, you have to investigate yourself, don't you? You have to... Science evolves and you...
It evolves and it's a minefield.
Yeah.
And there are so many different opinions. And I know from having done scientific experiments myself that you've got to have a very large sample and it has to be normalised, and it may only be area specific, and that although you get these levels of significance, there are still a lot of people who don't fit those criteria.
Yeah. And
so it's not the same for everybody ever.
No. And if we look back 100 years, how much vegetable oils were we eating 100 years ago?
We weren't.
No.
When I was little, my parents did a lot of craft. My father taught it, and mother did a lot of craft. So we had a lot of these oils at home.
Yeah.
And I was always told they weren't edible. He used to, my mother used to do leather work, and she had some of these oils to clean leather and make them easier to sew, make them supple and things like that. And my father used to do things like restoring tables and things, and he used a lot of those oils to bring up the colour and everything, and you say they're not edible. So I was always told that they weren't edible anyway, and I still got sidetracked into believing that they were good. So what chance has anybody else got?
Yeah, especially when they have a heart healthy sign on them.
Yes, that's right.
And we're conned into believing that it's healthy food.
See, people do these studies and they're not necessarily very large, and they get this result and they think, oh, this is good for you then.
Yeah.
And that's it, they go with that.
Yeah.
You can't be sure.
No.
Ever.
So, your favourite meal is?
Steak and salad.
Steak and salad. Oh, fantastic.
And a glass of dry white wine.
Yeah, lovely. And you're looking really good on it. Well, thank you so much for this opportunity to chat. And I'll get this sorted and we'll see where we go from here. Thank you.